guys, welcome to the Talkoffame podcast. I'm Kylie, and today we have Sophia Gladiux joining us. Sophia plays field hockey at Penn State University, where she was named All-American during her freshman year at Penn State. As many of you know, from coming from Pennsylvania, I come from a diehard Penn State family. And of course, interviewing someone that plays sports at PSU is always a big thing for me. Of course, we're coming from a Penn State family. But thank you so much, Sophia, for joining us today. I'm super excited to have you on.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
Absolutely. So, what got you into field hockey? Because I know with a lot of people, they say they start out like when they're very young and stuff, but what kind of got you into it?
So I started field hockey in third grade. My sister played and she's 3 years older than me. So if you have siblings, usually you kind of follow in their footsteps. You know, your parents just whatever they do, they kind of throw you into it too. So my sister started playing field hockey in third grade. And then when eventually I got to third grade, I also started playing. And where I'm from, I went to Ole Valley School District. Our youth program was really, well structured and it was just super fun. All my friends did it, so it was just kind of like a no-brainer. So I started in third grade and I loved it ever since. And I made so many friends from the day I started playing till now. So yeah, it's been quite the journey.
Yeah, like it was being in a sport, seeing your siblings play sport, a lot of parents love to drag you into that sport, especially like since when I was young, my family loves baseball. So when my brother played baseball when we were young, they dragged me into it.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
I
always
get it.
it's always a one sibling that always plays the sport, then you have to follow along no matter
Yep.
what, but they're gonna put you in anyways.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of seems to be the trend for a lot of people.
I know, right? But how was kind of like the transition for you from going to high school field hockey to college field hockey?
Yeah, so definitely like a pretty big jump because, high school you have all sorts of, types of people playing. You have your D1 commits, D2 commits, D3 commits, girls that are just doing it for fun, girls that never played before. So it's like high school is just kind of like, I mean, yes, we were still very successful in my high school. We had a lot of, D1, D2, D3 field hockey commits, and our coaches all went to top D1 programs. So like I said, Ole's program was just always really, you know, always did really well. And it was always just like supported by the community and everything. So I feel like I got a really good, taste of what college would be like before I even went because my coaches like prepared us so well. Putting us through hard practices, conditioning, all those types of things, not being, so-called soft. Like they were hard on us. And I really do appreciate that because I think, it helped the transition go way more smooth for me. And I mean, still a huge jump going from high school to college regardless. But no, I think I was well prepared and I'm really grateful for that. But just playing wise though, like the level of play is just so much higher because now you're with like all those girls that were on D1 teams from all over the country. Now they're all put on the team, right? So like everyone's good. And everyone wants to win and everyone's super competitive. Where in high school you don't see it as much. So I think that's where, it changes the level of skill, the speed of play, all those things kind of start to come into play a little bit more. And so yeah, it was definitely like, going from senior year of high school into freshman year, especially with COVID going on during my year, like it was hard to transition, but we all had each other and to, kind of push through and figure it out. And here we are 4 years later. It's kind of crazy to think about, but
Right? Like, did you graduate like when COVID started, or did you kind of graduate a little while
yep.
after?
So COVID hit 2020. I graduated June 2020 in high school. So it's just I was right in the midst of it. My senior year got cut short and yeah, so it was pretty. Yeah, I mean, well, I guess it was when I don't even remember like when COVID hit. Really, I guess
Yeah,
it was the end of my senior year in high school, and then yeah, I graduated virtually, essentially.
yeah. But
Um,
I feel like I think like when COVID started, it just feels like an automatically blur from when it started to when it ended because they all very happened very quickly, right?
oh, for sure, yeah, it just seems like one big blur. Like
I know
honestly, the
it's
whole time period.
especially with Pennsylvania. Like, well, of course, me and you're both from Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania got hit pretty hard, which
Oh
was
yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. So it was definitely took a toll, but we made it out.
yeah, thankfully,
Yeah,
thankfully we
right.
did. But like with COVID, it did mess up like the world of sports and the way people
Oh yeah.
actually went to school in high school. Like with
Yeah.
college, in terms of sports, I feel like when you go to college, it's more fun to do sports in high school. I mean, college than high school because it's more competitive. And
Hmm.
you also get the same people that are actually in the same position. I feel
Yeah.
it's much more fun than
Oh
regular
yeah,
high school.
sure. Yeah, definitely. Way more high level and just competitive. So that's always fun.
Right? And plus, it's more fun to watch because, of course, when
Yeah.
high school games, you're like, oh, this is boring. Why should I watch high school? But when college plays on for, especially for PSU, come from on PSU fans, every PSU game is fun to watch.
Oh
So, of
yeah,
course, with PSU
definitely.
fans, everyone's diehard, has so much energy that whenever you go to PSU games, people are just on top of their game that you're just like,
It's
okay, what's going on?
yeah, it's so true. I mean, every doesn't matter. That's how I feel too. Like you just the Penn State pride. It's real. It's a real thing.
Yeah,
So
people always don't expect how much Penn State fans are crazy until they
oh
go to like a
yeah.
football game or something.
Oh totally. I know. We're diehards.
I know it's insane how much Penn State fans are this insane for something. It's crazy to see how fans react.
It is.
But what made you choose PSC for field hockey?
Yeah, so I mean, I was kind of being recruited from a lot of different schools at an early age, which was pretty overwhelming. I mean, there was a whole bunch of feelings, excitement, scary, like all those things. So I think for me, like the biggest thing was, more to field hockey, like more to the school than just field hockey.
Mhm.
And I think when I spoke to Shar when she was the head coach here and the other coaches that were here talking to them, they just had a sense of respect for so much more that was going on in my life versus just field hockey. Whenever she would call me, it was asking me about my family, asking me about school, asking me about the other sports that I was doing at the time, and then field hockey. And I think for me at that point in my time, like in that point in my life, I was, starting to kind of feel burnout from a really early period. And so I think, you know, when all was talked about in my life was field hockey, field hockey, field hockey, I was just kind of becoming very overwhelmed. So I think like creating that relationship with Shar and LB and having that sense of, they care about other things in my life, that was really, really important to me. And knowing that they had that culture set here at Penn State already was just a really, big plus for me when I was looking at schools that I wanted to go to for field hockey. And, I weighed my options a lot. And I had, I was grateful with the opportunity to, to kind of pick where I wanted to go essentially. And, not everyone can say that. But I think for me, I just felt like I said, my sister went here. I was able to visit here before I even committed. Like being able to be here and visit here without field hockey involved and actually see the environment and like see what Penn State's about in general. Not because I think so many young girls commit, and not just young girls, but in any sport, in any, gender, people commit so early. And I committed sophomore year of high school. I still think that was really early. And I think a lot of people, look at just one thing and it's probably going to be their sport or just even their coach. I've known girls that committed solely because of the coach. And then they get there and their coach leaves or their coach retires or so on, so on. And I think for me, I was confident enough to say, I love the coaches. I love the culture of this team and the chemistry. I love the school as a whole. Without say you go and commit somewhere and you get hurt, right? And the sport's taken out the picture. Do you like the school or are you just there for the sport? So I think there was just like so many things that you have to look at when committing. And I think, I had the support to be able to do that. And I looked at, Penn State kind of checked off all my boxes when it came to so many things. So it was kind of a no-brainer. It felt like home. If I loved it. I love the atmosphere and what the education and everything is just top tier. So it was really hard to say no at that point. And I think, yeah, I mean, plus my sister went here already. So it was very convenient for me in that way. And yeah, I committed my sophomore year of high school and I was super, excited. And I'm so happy I chose, this place as my home. So
Yeah, like with Penn State, like of course with Pennsylvanians, a lot of people are Penn State fans, and
oh
my whole
yeah.
family is alumni, so of course adoption
Well, I'm sure
for
you
Penn
hear it all the
Presidents.
time.
Yeah, so I go there often more than I should, honestly. But like with Penn State, like there's so many things that you can do that make such a good college, like the fan base at football games or the creamery, the campus is just so safe. The campus is beautiful, and you can walk around without being nervous about, someone like a shooting or something, and
Yeah.
it's one of the safest colleges there is in the Northeast. And
Hmm.
but Penn State, like the atmosphere whenever you go down to State College is, or even one of the smaller campuses across the state of Pennsylvania,
Hmm.
is just amazing. And like with Penn State, it's just like it's nothing better than Penn State, honestly. Like
Yeah.
the atmosphere, the people, it's literally nothing better. And of course, the sports teams, all of them are so good that every year there's like not a bad sports team at Penn State.
Yeah. I mean, it's great, and the thing I love about it is like once a Penn Stater, always a Penn Stater, and
Mhm.
I just live by that. And there's people always say Penn State's everywhere, and it really is. You can go across the country, across the world, and you'll find Penn Staters, and it's just so cool because no other school can say that, or no other school can celebrate that. And I think for me, just being able to know that I've been a part of that is just so awesome. And not everyone can say that they went to Penn State and have that lifelong connection to people. And there's just so many connections and so many doors that it opens. And yeah, I'm just like super blessed that I had the privilege to go here and pursue my dreams.
Yeah, like with Penn State, like there's like you said, there's so many alumni all over the world that you can find people like in Australia, for example. Like there's so many alumni and fans that's like no matter where you go, you always spot a Penn State fan, like
Yeah.
no matter what. Which
Yeah.
is crazy to see how much people love Penn State in general,
Yeah,
especially
totally.
sports.
Hmm.
But what helps you to become an All-American your freshman year at Penn State?
Yeah, I mean, going into, like I said, I think the preparation that I had before going to college really helped me a lot. And I think because I was so prepared when I got here, I was able to focus on field hockey and not stress about classes or all those other little things that a freshman has to worry about in general, not even just a student athlete, but just a student in general. You know,
Mhm.
meeting new people, knowing your classes, like being on top of your work, like all those things, if you can like take care of those things before you get here, you're just going to give yourself a head start. And same goes with your, when it comes to field hockey or any sport, like being in shape, being in field hockey shape, having playing all summer preparing. And I think obviously with COVID that, limited a lot of things we could do, obviously, but regardless, I had a stick in my hand all the time leading up to college, like every day. And I think that helped me a lot. And just training at every chance I could and just really coming in shape and ready to go. And, I didn't have to focus on getting in shape. I was already there. So then I could focus on the next thing, which was playing at a higher level than I was used to. And so, yeah, I mean, I think I was prepared enough to, start and play as a freshman and was able to make a, pretty big impact as a freshman. And, I think that showed in my play and, I was able to put the ball in the back of the cage. And yeah, I mean, I was honestly pretty shocked as a freshman just with like the level of talent and everything. Getting all American my freshman year. But I think getting it my freshman year really motivated me each year to be able to continue to do that and continue to get it all American every year since, because I had that standard for myself from the first year. So having that accomplishment my first year, I was like, all right, I need to do, strive for more in the following year. And so that just kind of continued and kind of you know, fed my desire to, want to be better. And I think it really just paid off and, in the end. And I'm excited to see, how it all plays out next year and hopefully can, be successful next year too.
Like to be like all American your freshman year and be starter is crazy. Like, of course, not a lot of people can say, "Oh, I got to start my freshman year," or "I got to be all American." Because, of course, not a lot of colleges or even high school like places do not usually start their freshmen, or
Yeah.
even if they do, it's very limited.
Yeah.
Just so, like, with having to get those accomplishments, it really is amazing to be able to do that. And of course, with COVID, it's very hard to kind of get that work in, whether it's like the gym or playing games or something. COVID really did mess things up in terms of sports, in terms of, okay, I want to commit to this college. Or it's like, whatever it is, like, COVID really messed everything up for like with sports and interacting.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you said it, like going to the gym, even like getting time out in the field, like everything was under a microscope of what you could and couldn't do. And so that definitely affected things, even my preparation going into college. I think but I think everyone kind of felt that. So it's almost like it was one big shift together. So no
Mhm.
one was really ahead of someone else, which I guess was nice. But no, it definitely made it way more challenging. But yeah, I mean, I think the trust of my coaches and the trust of my teammates to be able to, put me in those positions to, start and play as much as I did and be as successful as I was, I have to give it to them for trusting me and knowing that I was capable of doing all of that. So, but
Yeah. And like, what is like your training like at Penn State? Because I know what every college is different in terms of training, but what is kind of like your day-to-day process in terms of training?
yeah, so I mean, obviously during the fall, excuse me, our priority is field hockey and practicing, not as much on the conditioning lifting side, just because, you're already in season, you're supposed to be, doing that stuff during the summer. So during the summer we get a packet, we follow our packet, to come in. We have preseason. So preseason's, 2-a-days, run tests, all those things. It's challenging on the body and the mind, but once you get to season, it's pretty consistent practice every day, about 3 to 5:30, 3 to 6, just depending on, what the day looks like, every day. So we'll play our Mondays are our off days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday practice, Friday game, Saturday walkthrough. So walkthrough is just like practicing corners, passing, light stuff.
Mhm.
Sunday, another game, and then repeat. So it's like that the whole fall, which is super nice because you get a really, consistent routine. And then in the spring is your off season because you're actually training the hardest in the spring. So every day, you're conditioning, lifting. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, lifting. Tuesday, Thursday, conditioning. Saturdays are off and Sundays are off, which is super nice. We're not used to that. We're usually used to traveling and playing. So getting those weekends off definitely gives you a lot of time to like mentally and like physically recover, which is super nice. But again, it's like a very consistent routine, which I think is really helpful because being in a routine, it just helps you with time management, you know what to expect, all those things. So it's really good time to just kind of get in your best shape before they send us off, for summer to be on our own, trust us to work out on our own. And yeah, so rinse and repeat 4 years straight. It's been like that. So
Yeah, it seems like a very consistent process because, of course, when you're during the summer, a lot of like coaches like, oh, they're not going to practice during the summer. Like, might as well get it in now, right? Like, it's
yeah.
especially at PSU, it's such an athletic school that it's like they always expect athletes to be on top of their game
Oh
24/7.
yeah, for sure. Definitely.
But how do you like balance like field hockey in your life outside of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have done a really good job of figuring out how to balance field hockey and all the other things in my life. Because I think I've come to an understanding that, I chose to go to a D1 program. And so
Mhm.
me choosing to come to a D1 program meant that I was sacrificing like some of my social life, some of my alone time. Like I knew I was going to be sacrificing those things because I wanted to play at this level. And if I didn't want to sacrifice as much, I would have went D2 or D3, right? So I think having that awareness in your head, like I'm committing to this, but I know there's gonna be, sacrifices and consequences to that. And I have to be okay with it. And so I think that helps me a lot mentally because it can get tough when you're in season and you go to Penn State and you're traveling in a boring state and playing a team and then you see all your friends at home going to the whiteout football game. Like that's tough. That's
Mhm.
really hard to like be like you have so much FOMO and you want to be there and you want to experience that. But then you just kind of have to bring yourself back down. It's like, okay, like no, I'm here for a reason. Kind of have to look at like the bigger picture. Like I came here to play field hockey and I have to be okay with missing those things. And I can admit it sucks sometimes, but
Mhm.
for me, having that awareness has helped me a lot. And also just like specifically though, like nitty gritty things like day to day. Um, I have a planner or like agenda book, you whatever call it, and I live by that because I think it's really important to like write everything down. Um, meetings, homework, whatever it is, going to the grocery store, like laundry, like I write everything down and I just like check it off because I think mentally, like being able to check things off just feels good, like you accomplished it.
Mhm.
And but when it comes to just like field hockey in school too, like it can be a lot. But I think just knowing you like have to get it done, it almost helps when you're in a time crunch and you don't have a lot of time because it forces you to get it done. You're like, I
Yeah.
have to do this assignment now or I'm going to fail. So it's like now or never. So it kind of helps you manage your time actually a lot better versus if you had so much time. We all know we like to put things off when we have time to like do it. So
Yeah.
it's almost nice you have a really good structure of your time and your to-do list and what needs to be done. So I mean I'm a senior, like I have it figured out at this point because I've been here for 4 years now, but as a freshman it definitely can be challenging to kind of figure that out, but it just takes time to figure out what works for you. And so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I like to be honest, I'm so struggling with all that balancing to this day. But I realize that like the more I'm going on and less time I have, the more work I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I rely on the to-do list, which is like I drive myself crazy with the to-do list. I don't know if that's the best option, but it's like a to-do list. It literally helped me out so much because oftentimes I'll forget what I have to do, then forget it until a couple days later, and then I'll be late.
Yep,
So it's
exactly.
like I'm like more of a time crunch person than relying just on my head for everything.
Yeah, no, definitely. For sure.
But before we head off, I have like we started a series like for fun questions. Of course, a great way to end this off. But like to start the fun questions, like what do you enjoy the most about playing field hockey?
Ah, it's hard to pick. I mean, there's so many different aspects to field hockey that I just love. I think all the opportunities it's given me. I think, and that can be any sport, but I think for field hockey, it's such a small community because it is a smaller sport. I think it just gives you so many connections to like the possibilities of what you can do in your life and, meeting new people. Like I have met so many people from all across the world playing field hockey, and not a lot of people can say that they know people in Australia or know people in the Netherlands or whatever it is. And just being able to learn about different cultures and the way people live and just like learning from new people, right? Like when you go on a team, you have to be open-minded. You have to learn how to work with people that you might not get along with. And I think, those lessons, you can't learn anywhere else. And, I think that's my favorite thing about field hockey is just all the different opportunities and people that you meet along the way. It's just super cool. And, the places it takes you, it's just super, it's a blessing, and I'm super privileged to be able to play this sport and have the support of my family and my parents to continue to support me to get to the level that I'm at now,
Mhm.
and make all these memories. And yeah, I mean, it's hard to pick one thing. I love it all. I love winning, I love scoring, but to the deeper side of things, I definitely love the connections and opportunities that it gives me.
Especially playing D1, like you really will meet so many other people, like maybe people from Ohio State, like Michigan, or somebody people in your conference or outside your conference. Like
Yeah,
there's so many people you'll meet and that you'll probably never meet if you didn't go D1, which
exactly.
is crazy to think about that if you never played field hockey or even win D1, you probably would never met these people in your life.
Exactly. Yeah, so super exciting.
And if you could pick any new field hockey position, what would you choose?
Cool. I play forward for those of you that don't know. So, um, I think it'd be fun to try out goalie just
Oh
because I
yeah.
play I play forward, so I'd be like I think I'd be most interested in learning to be a goalkeeper because it's so different to me.
Yeah.
But realistically, if I would like to try defense because I that's not my thing. My thing is putting the ball in the goal, not defending it. So, um I don't know. I think it'd be fun just to kind of have that different perspective on the field because I'm so not used to that. But I don't know. I don't think I'd ever see that coming at all. I'm gonna stick to the forward.
Yeah, if I played goalie in field hockey, I'll be ready to quit the next day and get hit the ball a million times each day. Like
Yeah.
that would be a no-no for me, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'd much rather be a forward or defending rather than the goalie. That would probably be my last option to pick.
Yes, I can see that. I understand that.
But like to end this off, like what is your favorite sports movie?
My favorite sports movie. Ooh, good
I
question.
know there's so many good ones out there.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna have to say Miracle.
Oh,
Um,
that's a good one.
yeah. I think that one's just like very relative to my life and just like in that aspect, I feel I can just relate to it a lot. And it just also the message is just so cool because it was like based on a real story. I just think it's awesome. Like gives me chills every time I watch it. Me and my roommate watch it, and it's just like it's just such a good movie in general. So probably Miracle. There's some
Yeah,
other
that's a
good
good
ones though.
option. I haven't
Yeah.
seen that movie forever. Now I have
I
to rewatch it
know.
because I
Yeah,
mentioned
you
that.
have to
It's such a
rewatch
good
it.
movie. It's such a good movie, but I really appreciate you, Sophia, for joining us today. I know you have a busy schedule, so I really appreciate you coming on to get time to chat with us today. I really appreciate your everything you're doing, and appreciate you coming on to get the time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This is super fun.